Surrey, the fastest growing community in BC, is getting a new riding in this provincial election, and it could prove to be a bellwether. The NDP and the BC Conservatives are running star candidates here in Surrey-Serpentine River. Linda Hepner is running for the BC Conservatives. She spent 2 decades working for the city of Surrey, served 3 terms as a city councillor before winning the mayor's seat in 2014.
Quite frankly, it has 4 significant clusters. We have West Cloverdale, we have East Newton.
Hepner lives just outside the riding in Surrey South, but says her connections here run deep.
What I think I bring to the table is experience in government.
She's running against the NDP's Baltaj Dillon, a retired RCMP inspector who lives in the riding. He was the first Mountie to wear a turban on the job, paving the way for religious accommodation in the National Police Force.
I had to fight racism, I had to fight discrimination and prejudice, both inside and outside. And it was a hard-fought fight, and we're better for it today. As I come into this world to lend some expertise to the work that's already underway around public safety. And so this is a party that I could stand with. My values align, so do my principles.
Also running is independent candidate Jim McMurdy. Surrey-Serpentine River is made up of 3 previous ridings. They include some areas where the NDP did well in 2020 and parts that have historically favored a centre-right party. Data compiled by SFU researcher Andy Yan shows 48% of those living here are South Asian. Nearly 3/4 are homeowners, a higher proportion than the province overall. And there is a large number of families with children. The big issues here are healthcare, affordability, and public safety, especially as divisions continue over the province's decision to force Surrey to stick with the city police force.
Healthcare, housing, I know for my kids, they need to be able to afford a house one day. I think I've made up my mind already that we need change.
I think about the most of the things that is getting very expensive these days, especially the groceries and the housing prices.
Linda Hepner argues Surrey has been neglected, pointing to the number of school portables that have ballooned since 2017 when the NDP came to power.
You cannot double portables and not say you're failing. You're failing. I think that Surrey has been a second-class citizen for far too long.
Baltaj Dillon says Surrey was neglected under the former BC Liberal government. He praises the NDP for building schools and a new hospital tower.
We're trying to work from that neglect forward. If anything, the BC NDP has corrected that course and are doing all the things that they made promises around.
With 10 ridings up for grabs in Surrey, both David Eby and John Rustad have been making frequent campaign stops here, with a particular focus on Surrey-Serpentine River. As the NDP and BC Conservatives remain in a tight race ahead of voting day, October 19th, candidates will be busy knocking on doors and hitting the streets to try and sway undecided voters. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Surrey.